All right, today's guest on the Rhino Zoomcast, the legend from Bamberg Earhart, 4 years at Clemson, 6 years in the NFL. We got Ricky Sapp on the line today. Thanks for joining me today, Ricky.
What's the word, man? Thank you for having me, brother.
All right. So I want to start with a quote from you that I read, and this is what made me interested in wanting to get in contact with you. You know, you came out as a 5-star All-American, played at Clemson, played in the NFL. The career didn't go maybe as you would like due to some injuries, but you still got a positive attitude. The quote is, the purpose of your life is not for you to be happy. It is to be useful, honorable, compassionate, and to make a difference in others' lives. And I think that speaks volumes of your character to not be, one, a prima donna that you were a 5-star, and then two, be a bad attitude from things that have happened, you know, in your past going forward.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And, that quote, came to me once I figured out my true purpose in life. My NFL career didn't go as planned, but once I figured out that my purpose was to encourage kids and to encourage the world, then I figured that quote out.
Okay. Well, let's roll it back to Bamberg.
Let's go.
Most people probably don't know a lot about Bamberg. I'm from Lugoff, which is small, but maybe not as small as Bamberg. 3,000 or 4,000 people, a rural town. So you went to school at Bamberg Earhart, 5-star guy in a small town. What was that like, the attention you got where there's not a lot going on in Bamberg, but I'm sure Friday nights when the stadium lights came on, the town the county was lit up. So what was it like coming from that small town and being a big guy in a small pond?
Well, Bamberg definitely is an amazing city. I was definitely blessed to be able to come up into a town that has such great sports, and, getting all that attention, man, it was amazing. At the time I didn't quite, grasp it, but, I had great teachers and coaches, my family, man, my friends, everybody, was around me during that time. So to be able to bring that kind of attention to Bamberg, it just made things that much better for me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think a lot of people realize that, DeQuan Bowers is from Bamberg. Is that right?
Yeah, that's right.
And then Mookie Wilson and his son Preston Wilson also from Bamberg.
Yeah,
so.
Yeah, AJ Can and Casey Crosby, all those guys, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's a pretty good pedigree from a small town.
We got them down there.
So you're going through your junior and senior year, you're getting all this hype. Mm-hmm. It's a little different than it is now because now you got internet. You got 24/7. You got rivals. You got 100. Every conference has got 100 beat guys talking about recruiting, and that's a big deal. Yeah. But rolling back to the mid 2000s, what was it like, the recruiting process? Was it more of a letter in the mail kind of thing, or official visit kind of thing, or how did it go without all this texting and emailing and communication?
Man, that's crazy you said that, because for me, it was like letters and phone calls. That's it. Letters and phone calls. And I can't even imagine what it would be like if we had social media back then. Being that I was blessed to be a 5-star, I can't imagine what the social media was like. But it was all mail. I got mail to the school, mail at home. I was living with my grandma at the time, and she actually stopped going to the mailbox. She's like, I'm not going no more. You take your behind to the mailbox and get the mail.
All right. So you get recruited heavily in the Southeast. Florida State, Georgia, North Carolina State, Oklahoma, South Carolina, Virginia Tech, just to name a few, and Clemson. Did you take official visits to those places?
Not official visits, but I did go on visits to those places. And look, I'm gonna say this, but Florida State was actually a school that I wanted to go to, but for some reason, I kept going back to Clemson, and I just fell in love with the place, man.
See, I'm a diehard Gamecock fan my whole life.
But
hold on. But I love going to Clemson. Okay. And I'm not one of these guys who Clemson sucks or I hate Clemson. I respect it. I love the whole landscape, grass and hills. Okay. Hell, I'm wearing the SO Club T-shirt. I mean, I love everything about Monty Lee, the baseball coach. We went to high school together. So awesome. It's not one of those deals where I'm, this angry fan that, obviously if I was the angry fan, I wouldn't even want to speak to you because you wouldn't.
I respect it.
So So you made the decision to go to Clemson. You just fell in love with everything about it at that time. I guess Tommy Bowden was the coach at that time?
Yeah, Tommy Bowden was the coach. Coach Swinney was the receiver coach. Coach Ron West was my coach, and he recruited me. And, Coach Tommy Bowden and Ron West came to my mom's house, sit on the couch, and just going, I don't know what it was. They say it's something in those hills out there in Clemson.
Right.
I'm telling you, man. I went once or twice, and I was like, man, it's something about this place. I think the biggest thing is it's a family environment, but when you go to Death Valley, man, it's nothing like it, man. It's incredible.
Yeah, that's the thing too. Is like you're from a small town, and even though Clemson's a big on the football landscape, it's still small. It's still there's grass, there's hills, there's trees. Unlike when you go to some of these other cities, it's nothing but interstate, big buildings, skyscrapers, and you lose that small town feel. I think that's a big plus for Clemson, definitely.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, so you commit the first 5-star defensive guy since 1989 for Clemson. You roll in. You're behind Gaines Adams, I guess, to start with. He's kind of your mentor. And what's that like, just going from Bamberg, playing, offensive linemen that you probably played against some guys who are 235 in high school, and then you go into big-time football where everybody's a beast, everybody's a 4-star, 5-star, everybody is on the, on the scout report. How does it? What's the difference, or what's the biggest difference when you got to Clemson?
I think the biggest difference was, of course, now I had to implement study hall. I had to implement college classes, and I had to implement, lifting weights, working out early in the morning. That was the biggest change for me. And then the physical aspect of it, I wasn't as big as I was, as I am now. I was about 225 my freshman year, so I was in there playing with some big offensive linemen, and, in some aspects, I was getting my butt tossed around sometimes. Yeah. But, I was blessed to play behind Gaines Adams, who was an incredible man, but also an incredible football player.
Right. True. Yeah, so those teams, you had pretty good success with Tommy Bowden. I mean, 8 or 9, 10 wins, you had good seasons. You had a bunch of stars, had a bunch of NFL guys. At one point, I looked at the roster, I think in 2008, Philip Merling and yourself, and, then you had, Bowers. And you had guys up and down the list that went to the NFL. I think it was 10 or 11 guys. Several defensive backs made the league as well. So very talented team, very talented skill position guys. You had Spiller, and you had Andre Ellington. You had Thomas Austin playing line. He's from Camden, just right across the river.
Yeah, you got Thomas, my guy. Yep.
Jacoby Ford. You had a bunch of skill position guys.
Yeah.
And I say this, and I don't mean it negatively, but you didn't really have the pedigree of quarterback that Clemson's getting now. I mean, you had a Cullen Harper and you had a Kyle Parker, who were pretty good guys, but they weren't Deshaun, Taj, Trevor Lawrence type guys, I guess.
Yeah, all those guys had, different ingredients with them, And I tell you what, I'll be honest with you. If I can go back, I would keep them. I tell you that. But Clemson has definitely changed the environment. Like, they're going to get everybody, all the top dogs. So it's hey, I don't know if I can play with them boys right now. So hats off to them, man. They definitely doing it.
Yeah, they don't recruit just Southeast anymore. They're West Coast, North,
everybody,
Hawaii,
man.
Anywhere they can play football, they go and get them. And
yeah,
Dabo's changed the whole dynamic of what's going on up there. So your senior season, Dabo is the coach. Is that right?
Yeah. So towards the end of my junior year, we played in Wake Forest. Right. I don't know if you guys remember or not. Coach Tommy Bowden stepped down the next day, and then Coach Swinney took over. And then my senior year, he was the full head coach. Yep.
What was that? Was it an immediate change, or did he just kind of implement what Tommy had already done and just kind of progress it, or was it a night and day, or was it pretty similar initially?
In my opinion, it was night and day. We already knew what kind of guy Coach Swinney was. He's the same guy he is now a long time ago. Really? He go coach you hard. He go be passionate. He go have energy out this world, but he also go love you too. And when he got the job, I kid you not, amongst us that was rising seniors, the things that we were saying was we wish we had 4 years with this guy because we knew what he was going to do.
Right. You know? Yeah, that's pretty amazing, the transformation. You know, Clemson's always been a little ahead of South Carolina, you know, winning 9, 10 games, competing for ACC, putting guys in the pros all the way back from William Perry, you know, all the way up. And Clemson's on that landscape was kind of down middle grade in the top 25, somewhere around there, winning 8, 9, 10 games. But now it's just a skyrocket where you talk about football, you're talking about Alabama, Ohio State, Clemson. You know, it's a heck of a transformation for Clemson to be every 3 or 4 years get up there. But now it's perennial. I mean, Dabo's got it going on.
Well, you know, if you follow the program, you always knew that we had what we needed to do to be where they are now. You know, so I'm just blessed that I was there to be able to help, you know, kind of build the foundation. But if you, like I said, if you go to Clemson, you know it's just something special about the place, you know, everybody. All
right, so let me ask you this. At Clemson, what is it like? And I know y'all didn't do the whole bus ride around the thing, but what is it like? And only negative about Clemson games is generally, especially when you were there, early games. A lot of them were early, noon and 3:30. And if you're in the upper deck, like I've said a couple times, the sun's on your shoulder. I mean, you can't hardly take it because it's busted wide open right there in the middle of the country. But what is it like standing on that hill? They playing the intro music. Here comes the 2 little Tigers and the band's playing. What is it like, you know, when they let you go and you running down that hill and you got 86,000 or whatever just singing along with the Tiger Rag?
Man, you know what? It's truly an amazing feeling. It's a lot of excitement. It's a lot of adrenaline, but it's just fun, man. Knowing that you get to run down that hill every day in front of almost 85,000 fans that, you know, that's gonna love you regardless. You know, it's really family there. So, man, I tell you what, if I could go back and do it again, I would. I would.
Yeah, I guarantee it. I think we all would at this point, looking back as we get older. Some of the highlights of your college career, play in places. Like I know you played at Doak Campbell in Florida State, played in several bowl games, played at Auburn, Nebraska, those kind of guys. What's some of the biggest memories, other than just being part of the family, but, you know, outside of Clemson or big games or big moments or special moments you had on the field?
Well, I'll tell you what, playing in Virginia Tech was definitely, you know, even though we lost, it was definitely an amazing environment. It really was. Playing in Virginia Tech, I remember Thursday night football playing there.
Yeah.
Of course, playing in Florida State is always fun, man. Because, you know, before Swinney, it was Tommy, so it was the Tommy Bowden Bowl. Right. Those fans in Florida State, they are something else. So that was always a great game. And then, of course, whenever we got a chance to play in South Carolina, it was always exciting. Always good to hear what the fans had to say. All that.
Yeah, I've experienced several of them, but I know there ain't no love lost. There ain't the orange and the garnet. There ain't no love lost in between them two, especially on Thanksgiving weekend. That's rough.
Oh yeah.
All right, so then you get drafted. Well, you get your injury, 2 games to go your junior year. Instead of sitting out, you decide you wanted to come back and play your senior season. Looking back, do you think you maybe should have rested a year, or is this what you wanted to do?
If God said I can go back, I would have took an extra year, man. I would have took an extra year, and I would have got my mind right, and I would have got my leg right. But, you know, I was young, and I was ready to go to the next level. Yep.
All right, so you get drafted by the Eagles. You come in there, and then preseason game, you get hurt there, get cut, and then you go to the Jets, where you stay probably a good 2 years or so.
Yeah.
Off and on, practice squad and rostered and, you know, back and forth. What was that experience like, since that was like the longest core of a team? What was it like playing this in the NFL? What was the difference? Tell us what a day difference playing for Coach Swinney versus maybe Rex Ryan or just, you know, you don't have study hall and you don't have class to worry about, of course.
Well, I was going to say that, yeah.
But you got a lot more playbook and film probably to take care of.
Well, the biggest thing is what you just said. There's no more school. There's no more study hall. So now is you got to go to work.
Right.
So it's a job. And I had to learn that, you know. So a day in the NFL is like you up early, weight room, taking care of your body. You got breakfast, you got film, and then you have team meetings, then you have more film, then you have position meetings, then you have more film, then you have practice. After practice, you have more film. Then you're taking care of your body, and then you're going home. And that's a typical Wednesday in the NFL. So man, it's a job, and there's no more school or study hall. So everything you do has to be geared towards that. So that's the big difference. But Coach Swinney and Rex Ryan was similar because they was players coaches. They was gonna coach you up hard, but it was also love you hard as well.
Cool. Was that your best? The Jets experience, was that best for you, or is that your most memorable?
I think, during the time I was there, that was the longest team I was with. It was definitely a great experience for me. But I really loved the Houston, Texas locker room, man. And I loved Houston. Okay. But that locker room in Houston it was special locker room. It really was.
Okay. So you like Houston, huh? So you like your time there?
I love Houston, man. J.J. Watt and all those guys, Hop was in there, all those guys in there. It's just they welcome you in. I mean, I don't know if you know or not, but the NFL and college, the big difference is college is more, it's family. Mm-hmm. NFL is kind of like, all right, it's every man for themselves.
Right.
But the Houston, Texas locker room, it wasn't like that. It was family, man. And they invited you in no matter who you were. And that's the biggest thing I can remember from, playing there.
That's not bad.
Yeah, definitely.
All right. So how often do you get back to Clemson, or have you been back to Clemson recently?
I make it my business to get back once or twice a year. So I was there last year, I think actually 3 times. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So
I got to go back home now.
So when you roll up, you just let them know you're coming, and they just let you, leave you like a pass to come on in, or?
Well, yeah, you contact them early, so. But most times, and sometimes I come back, not during the season. I come back and see everybody in study hall, Victory Hall, because they played a major part in my life, and me being able to graduate from Clemson University and play football there. So I go back and visit them as well.
Ain't no doubt about that. So
you have to.
How do you feel when you're watching the game now? Are you like calm? It's okay. You're 30 years old. It's all right. Are you still kind of giddy? And, especially like these championship games that's come down. The Ohio State game last year, for instance, it comes down to a possession. Trevor leads them down and wins the game. Are you like on the edge of your seat? Or are you more calm?
Man. I can't be calm, man. My boy's playing. I can't be calm, man. Me and my kids, me and my son, man, we get hyped and watch the game, talk trash, so I'm on the edge of my seat, man.
I bet so. And it's been a great ride, man. This last 5 years from when Deshaun took it over from Taj, took it to that next level, and now Trevor's taking it to that next level. And heck, he got 2 more 5-star quarterbacks waiting. I mean, it's to the point now he's got too many quarterbacks to even play. It's kind of bad. It's a good problem to have, definitely.
Oh, it's a great problem to have. Oh, yeah.
All right, so it's done. You come back. I read you're a trainer, physical fitness trainer, and you started the Ricky Sapp Foundation. So tell me a little bit about what you're doing. The synopsis of it is preparing, I guess, young men, getting their minds right, focus on what they need to do to be successful or take it to the next level, providing, school supplies, clothes, haircuts, stuff that kids need, a good foundation for where they can start to go to that next level. Tell us a little bit about your Ricky Sapp Foundation and what you guys are doing.
Well, I'll tell you this. I told you earlier, I figured out my purpose in life. For me, that transition was really tough. Going from a 5-star at Clemson and then getting injured, it was rough for me. So I was depressed and had anxiety for about 2 years when I was done in the NFL. I figured out my purpose was to work with kids at North Myrtle Beach High School. I had the Ricky Sapp Foundation in 2010 when I started the NFL, but I didn't know that my purpose was kids. So once I figured out my purpose with kids, I was like, well, shoot, I got my foundation already in place. So what I started doing is I started, having my events for kids. Like you said, I have my football cheerleading camp. Everything is free. I have a celebrity basketball game, and the money we raise off that goes to the school and the community. I do my back to school project. I do that in Myrtle Beach and in my hometown, where I get 10 kids, 10 girls, 10 boys. I get their hair done. I get them book bags. We do Thanksgiving. We give out turkeys. We do Christmas. I dress up as a elf, and we give out gifts, and we moving towards giving out scholarship money. So right now, what I do is I have my nonprofit foundation, but I'm also a motivational speaker. I do high school football coaching at St. James High School, and I do some personal training on the side. And I'm the dance and substitute teacher, so I'm a sub too over here.
Oh, really? That's
so I do a little bit of all.
That's good, man. That's a good stretch. I mean, go from 5-star in Bamberg, a big dog in Death Valley.
Yeah.
6 years in and out of the NFL, and then come back and then give back. So
kids, man. Yep.
Definitely a great story. And that's what I saw. I saw some of those quotes, and I wanted to get you on just because, anybody can talk about the good times and being great and making money and living the life, but, getting knocked back down, but recovering and then doing something positive with it, man. I thought it was a great thing. So I wanted to have you on just to definitely tell your story. Plus, in South Carolina, man, Clemson football is a big deal, and he was a big part of that foundation, especially with Dabo getting to that next level.
Yeah. It's a beautiful thing right now. Yep.
So, thanks for coming on, Ricky.
Thank you for having me.
Continue good luck with your foundation, with your coaching, with your substituting, everything, and hopefully Clemson will keep it rolling. Even though, like I said, I'm a Carolina fan, it's good for this state, it's good for this area, the focus we get, and it ain't like South Carolina was competing for many championships anyway, so you ain't keeping us from nothing. So
that's awesome. Thank you, brother, for having me so much.
Hey, man, thank you. Good luck in the future.
Thank you so much.